Hello everyone! I've never done anything like this before, but we are doing a Oregon Trail high score run, and we are looking to be in the range of 37,000, the high 37,000s. We might touch the 38,000s, which I've never seen on YouTube before. This is also going to be a no food run. As part of that strategy, we will not be buying any food at our starting city or along the trail. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to make this a bit of an educational run. All of our people are going to be named after actual trailblazers. Very early ones usually. Our first one is going to be Narcissa, that's Narcissa Whitman. Second one is going to be William, for William Sublett. Third one is going to be Margaret, for Margaret Frank. Then we're going to have John F. for John Vermont. And then Jedediah for Jedediah Smith. I'll go ahead and tell you about Jim Bridger. The rest of these we're going to get along the trail, and I'll tell you more about them when we get further out. So Jim Bridger was a fur trapper from St. Louis, Missouri. As a couple of these people are. And he was possibly the first non-Native American to see Yellowstone, and quite possibly the first to see the Great Salt Lake. He did a ton of exploration missions out west, and he discovered a path called Bridger's Pass, which is not included in this game, but very important for the later people on the Oregon Trail. He spoke a ton of Native American languages, eventually married a Native American. He was a great trail guide to have, simply because the threat of being killed by Native Americans was very much real during this trip. And he was excellent at being able to communicate with them, trade with them, keep peace between them. So you wanted Jim Bridger as your trail guide, just to get rid of one of those threats. So we are going to be a trail guide. That will allow us to pick which way we want to go, as well as get $500 extra at the start. We're formerly a teacher, which is the hardest mode. We're going to start out in March, and the reason for that is if anyone gets sick, we need to take time to rest and allow them to heal. Rest is the best medicine in this game. So allowing us to stop when we need to is extremely important to getting all of these people over there in good health. We're going to start in 1848, not 1840. And the reason for that is even though you do get a bit of a bonus for starting in 1840, your wagon trains are so much smaller. And that wagon train is where half your points come from. So the bigger the wagon train you have and the happier you keep them, the much higher your score is going to be at the end. So here in 1848, we can get wagon trains of upward 190 people. In 1840, you can get max 50, I think. So starting in 1848, when you can really start to get those big wagon trains, is extremely important to getting that high score. So we're going to set out from Independence to Oregon City. Technically, Nauvoo is the highest scoring way. But it's a lot longer, it's a lot colder starting out in March, there's a lot more rivers, and you follow the Platte River half the way, and the Platte River is wrought with cholera. So it's a much harder run, and it's just not worth the extra 3 points. You'll lose more stuff, more people get sick, you'll lose more time. It just makes more sense to go from Independence to Oregon City and make up those 3 points just by getting there faster with more stuff. We're going with a small farm wagon, and everyone's going to be 25. Peak of health. You don't get any extra points for bringing 5-year-olds along, unfortunately. Skills, the only one I'm going to pick is musical. That gives you a regular boost to wagon train morale, and I'm convinced you cannot do a no food run without it. You absolutely need that boost to keep your wagon train happy and get a very high score at the end. So let's go ahead and get started.
The merchants here in town offer basic packages of...
So we're going to start out the stables. We will be back here later. And I'll show you why. Later. We're going to start out with 8 oxen though. It's too early in the year to do the sets of clothes, which are cheaper. We're going to have to go with the individuals. Because we need winter clothing. I like to bring a little bit extra because if we fall into any rivers, it's usually the clothes that go. So having a bit extra isn't too bad. The medicine, I just get what I've only ever used. If I've never used it, I don't buy it. Laudanum is one of the best things you could have out here. The linseed oil, I don't know if the game even uses it, but in real life, historically, they put it on their wagon covers, and it made them waterproof. And anything to prevent colds in this game is great. I don't know if it does. But your people can and will. They will die of a cold just to make you mad. They'll die of a cold just to make you mad. This, we might restock on bullets if we get lucky with hunting. Sorry, that was my dog. If we get lucky on hunting, we might not need more, but usually I pick up an extra box. The sheath, I think it keeps you from losing your rifle, or makes it less likely you'll lose your rifle in a river. Instead, you'll lose the sheath, I think. Get a wagon cover, put in those colds. I'm not going to be buying any axes or pickaxes or anything. We're going to have to be very lucky on this run anyway. So we're going to hope that we don't come across any fallen rocks or wood or anything like that along the way. And if we do, maybe we can clear it without having those things. Any sort of food item we're going to buy is salt, and that's for salting our meat so it lasts longer, and that's all we're getting. We are going to pick up pretty much all of this stuff except the fiddle. It's great for morale. The fiddle's just so expensive. And I'm buying all those blankets to prevent colds. It does seem to help. I've never looked at the code for this game, so I don't actually know what helps. I've just played it a million times. Alright, I'm going to go back in here, about one more blanket, and then we'll be somewhat ready to go. And I'll show you that somewhat. Alright, so we're going to exit, and we are looking for a wagon train with 180 people or more. And what I can do is I can exit out of here and go back, and it refreshes. So I'm going to have to do this a bunch of times. Almost. The music can get annoying, so I'm going to fast forward until I find one. That didn't take very long. Alright, we got 180 people. 47 wagons, train 2. So that's going to be the one. We're going to switch this to 12 hours a day. We do have a problem though. We have no food. No food. Because we didn't buy any. So here's what we're going to do. And we're only going to do this once in the... We're going to actually do this twice in the game. Maybe 3 times. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to gather. And I'm going to gather about 200 pounds of vegetables. You still see that we have this status no meat. And even if you go one day with either of these statuses, low food, no meat, no vegetables, no fruit, will just plummet your morale. It's crazy. So we don't even want to go a day like that. I cannot hunt here, and I cannot fish here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to gather 200 pounds of vegetables, and then I'm going to go find someone who has bacon, and I'm going to trade my vegetables for their bacon, and then I'm going to gather again. So we'll have bacon and we'll have fresh vegetables. Again, I know that seems a little bit cheesy, but we're only going to do it twice this whole run. So it is what it is. So I'm going to go gather. I'm going to fast forward because this does get a bit monotonous to watch. So I'll be back. Okay, so we have 209 pounds of fresh vegetables. So we're going to find someone who has at least 75 pounds of bacon. I don't like to split it up because you usually end up trading away more than if you just found someone who had the quantity you were looking for. Okay, what do you want? Do you want vegetables? Vegetables? Yes, you want vegetables. Awesome. So I'm going to do more gathering, and we want to keep vegetables above 100, usually about 125, 130 or so, because sometimes they can eat 100 pounds of vegetables in a day. I don't get how 6 people eat 100 pounds of vegetables, but it is what it is. So I'll be back. Alright, so this should actually be enough to get us on the road, finally. This will last us about a week and a half, so we do have to go hunting as soon as we can, and we're going to have to gather along the way. I'm going to be doing a lot of gathering, and I'll be fast forwarding through almost all of it. Ice, I hate crossing over ice. It is part of the problem with starting in March, but that extra time is worth the risk. So yeah, it's only 17 degrees. Alright, we made it. We are going to go into Westport and go to the blacksmith to get chain for mountain climbing out west and nails in case we break anything. It helps us fix it. That's also why I got a hammer earlier. So, alright, let's get back on the road. Okay, awesome. So we were just hired as a trail guide. We also just got $500. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this wagon train around. And I told you that we would be going back to the stables, and that's where we're going. So we got $500. At this particular stable, oxen are $11. The further out west you go, the more expensive they get. But here, for each oxen that you bring over and make out west, you get 10 points. For each $2.50 you bring over, you get 1 point. So right now, it actually makes more sense to buy as many oxen as you can for the highest number of bonus points at the end of the game, rather than bring all your cash. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to buy all his oxen. We're going to go over here to the general store, click on him, cancel, go back to the stables, buy them out again. We're going to be buying 59 oxen in total, is usually how it works out. So every time we come back, it refreshes his inventory. So that leaves us $27 for the trail. I like to leave myself a little bit of extra money. We have to leave at least $10 for a toll that we have to go through out west. So that leaves us with 59 oxen, which should be enough. So yeah, now we're actually ready to go. It's 38 degrees. Will it get colder? Yeah, it got colder. And I don't mind that going back loses us a few days. It's actually not really a bad thing, because it gives everything a little bit more time to thaw out. Here we go. I should not hunt and talk. Or maybe I'm just bad. There we go. I'm gonna stop for vegetables soon. Alright, that should be good to go. It is. Okay, alright, 28 degrees, I'll cross. Do a little bit more hunting. There's a reason I'm hunting when we still have like 200 pounds of meat. And I'll explain why here in a second. And I need some bullets. Nope, they don't have any. So the reason I'm hunting so much is because we only have a certain amount of time to hunt. Right here, roughly halfway through the trail, the only thing you could find are rabbits and geese, which are like 2 or 3 pounds apiece, and your risk of getting hurt or injured is just too high, and the cost of bullets is just too high to justify that. So we're going to do a ton of hunting through here. We're going to end up right here, hopefully with about 800 to 900 pounds of meat, and that actually will not last us the rest of the way. We start consuming food like crazy around here at Fort Hall. We'll get more into that later, but you'll see me hunt a ton through here, and hopefully we'll have our 800 to 900 pounds by the time we can't anymore. So. We're going to take the toll bridge. There we go, food. Cool. Should be good. Oregon Trail. The St. Joseph Road goes back towards this way, back to Nauvoo. And let's do a little bit of gathering. Alright. So this is the Platte River. This is where people get cholera like crazy. I mean, it's crazy how many people get cholera. Okay, I'm gonna visit the fort and see if they have any ammo and salt. Those should be the only things that I have to stock up on as we go west. Resting at a fort is great for morale. It seems to be better than anywhere else. So I try and rest every 2 weeks. We did some resting before as I waited for the river to thaw out earlier or get colder, I should say. So it's probably a bit early, but just top off that morale. We're making decent time. Bad cold. Like I said, people can and will die of colds, and rest is the best medicine, so I'm just going to rest today and keep an eye on them. Good. Let's see how we on food. Do a couple rounds of this. Hopefully stuff will start thawing out soon. Time for the worst. Increase fluid intake, and not a bad idea to rest. People are in bad shape. I'm gonna give them about 3 days. Like I said, we're making good time. I should go ahead and tell you a little bit more about our party here. We'll start with Narcissa. That refers to Narcissa Whitman. And you may notice on the map the Whitman Mission right out here. And they were extremely early pioneers, as most of our crew is. They came over in the 1830s to start a Christian mission out west, mostly towards the Native Americans, and that ended up being their downfall in the end. There was a measles outbreak in a nearby tribe, and it was probably rightfully so blamed on the Whitmans, and her husband were killed by the local Native Americans. However, during the time that their mission did stand, They helped a ton of people on the Oregon Trail with supplies, safe place to stay, food, medicine. A lot of people stopped at the Whitman Mission along their way to Oregon. So that is why Narcissa is part of our party. So William's in fair health. I'm gonna keep an eye on him, just because they can get worse after they've gotten better. Ah, man, we lost a winter coat, but hopefully it won't get too cold again. That should be okay. At least no one drowned. We still have our rifle. Speaking of which, I desperately need to go hunting. I've gone through a lot of it. Surprised there's not more out here. Usually the bears are easy. Here we go. Bitten by a bear. This could be bad. Usually if I clean and dress the wound first with a good bit of rest, they'll be fine. I need some more vegetables before I do that, though. I wish I could clean and dress the wound and put antiseptic on it, but this game does not allow that. Alright, so we're gonna rest here for a few days, just to make sure that our guy is good and doesn't get infected. I wish he had gone back to good in that time, but we do need to hit the road again. Alright, continue up the hill. Still fair. Buffalo. I hope I get him. There we go. It's snowing again. I'm doing okay. Gather, gather, gather. I don't think we need anything. Let's see if they have salt. Nope, they don't even have salt, so we don't need anything here. I'm good. Okay, alright, so our wounds did not get infected. So that's awesome. See how we're doing on salt. And make sure we didn't lose anything of importance. I'm gonna get that extra blanket topped off. Good on bullets. We're about to not be able to hunt anyway, so... Good on how we bought extra stuff, so... Bought bonnets, too. Kettle, lantern, alcohol, matches... Let's get some matches. Potatoes, shovels, skillets, tin cups, washboards, winter coats. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit on the winter coat. Those are $14. We didn't lose anything there, so we're fine. We are fine. I'm gonna rest here for... we're a little bit behind schedule, so I'm just gonna rest there a day to top up. And then do a little bit of gathering, we'll get back on the road. Alright. So Independence Rock is... Ooh, rope. Independence Rock is like where I like to be before May. We might get there on the 1st or something like that. Maybe the 2nd. But we're not too far behind Colorado. Awesome. And I am going to stop because I don't want anyone to die. Fair. That's fine. Gather, 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 hunt, hunt, hunt. Hunting. I don't know if I got that one. Might have gone behind the bush. I don't think so, though. Awesome. So we got our 800 pounds of food. We'll probably need to hunt one more time just because the food we're going to go through before the end of this one map. Because that's where we're not going to be able to hunt anymore, is at the end of this map. So Narcissus in fair health, probably getting over cholera. That's good. Let's move on to William. So coming up here at the end of this map, you'll see, actually beginning of the next map, you will see the sublet cutoff. And this is William's sublet. He was a fur trader, and he started his own fur company and blazed his own trails. And he was the one who originally founded the sublet cutoff. And his fort, which was out west, he ended up selling to the U.S. government. And it was sold and renamed Fort Laramie, and that was in 1845, which was just a couple years before this. We do not pass by Fort Laramie on this particular way that we're going, but it is in this game. We just won't be going by it. But that is William, and that is who William Sublet was. I think we're good on everything. I'll get an extra pack of salt. Concussion. John Fremont suffered a concussion. How did he do that? Smallpox. We are just getting hammered right now. Let's see. Lots of resting fluids. Okay, we're gonna... Doesn't say anything about what to do with the lesions, I don't think. It doesn't say. It just says lots of resting fluids. Increased fluids isn't something it offers. So I'm gonna rest here for 2 days. We're running about a week behind right now. I'm gonna rest one extra day. Yeah, Margaret and John Fremont are doing too well. They're in fair condition. I'm gonna do some gathering and then we're gonna get back on the road. Probably some hunting too. Alright, let's do some hunting. This may be the last time we hunt. Hate these little ones. They're so hard to hit. Oh, I missed a bear. Going too fast. Yeah, well, that's fine. That leaves us with 945 pounds of salted meat, 173 pounds of fresh vegetables. Let me show you guys something. So we're almost here. We're a few days away from here, and right here is when you cannot hunt anymore. And around right here, you're going to see a little bit of an increase in food consumption. You're also going to see me gather a lot more. You might be saying, but you've been gathering this whole time. It's been half this Let's Play. And that's right, but it's going to get worse. Right here at Fort Hall, it gets even worse than that. I mean, it is insane how much food they could go through 100 pounds of vegetables in a day or two. Usually about a day. They'll go through about 100 pounds of meat in less than a week. And so right there, what we did back here at Independence with the bacon, we're going to do up here as well with dried vegetables and dried fruit, which tends to last longer. It probably won't last us the whole way, but a good bit of it, so I won't have to gather nearly as much as I am right now, and especially not through here. So, we'll get going. See, this is the thing, I say we're only a week behind, but it can get away from you. And just sometimes the luck's so bad that, a week behind becomes 2 weeks behind, which becomes a month behind. So it's important to it when you can, and also keep your morale up because you do need to rest, and you do need to get your fruits and vegetables that we're apparently out of. We just had 100 pounds of them. It can be crazy how quickly they go through them. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, that should be fine. We're going a little bit slow. And it's probably partially because we've got a ton of meat on us. But like I said, we should start going through them pretty quick. Alright, so here's the sublet cutoff. Right here. And that is what we're going to take. Fort Bridger goes down towards Salt Lake City and stuff like that. But we're going up to Oregon. I really would like to know why we're going so slow. See, I just went 2 days without gathering, and our morale has been lost. So we're going to have to do a good long rest right here to make people happy again. And it might be why we were going so slow, because our morale was slipping. I do think there are different levels of morale beyond what you see, so even if it says morale is high, I think there might be a spectrum, but I'm not sure. I'll be back. Alright, so I rested 5 days total, and we've got 191 pounds of fresh vegetables, which will last us for a minute. Hopefully our morale... see, it can get away from you sometimes with all these stops. Just, if you have hard luck, it happens. And see, we've already gone through 150 pounds in just a couple days. I'm looking forward to when we can switch to dried fruits and vegetables and I don't have to do this so much, because this does get annoying. Alright. Let's hit the road. Really hoping we can get to Oregon City on time. Is there anything we need? I don't think there is. Maybe we need more oxen. Just an extra thing of salt. Yeah, we're pretty behind, and the fact that we've lost morale, it requires more rest, and we're out of fruits and vegetables. That is awful. We are almost to the point where I won't have to do this so much. But I just have to gather while I go, because we're not stopping. Yeah, I think we just lost morale. No, we didn't. It's still there. Alright, maybe... Yep, okay. We're at the fort. Alright, so this is where everything changes, as far as the strategy goes. What we do with the bacon, as I said, we're going to do the same here with dried fruits and dried vegetables. I'm going to go for probably 50 pounds of dried vegetables and 30 pounds of dried fruit. So I'm going to do and then I'm going to gather some extra fresh vegetables just to supplement us a little bit. I will be doing a little bit more gathering along the way, but nothing like how it's been for this last map. And that should get us the rest of the way. So I'll be back. I'm going to be doing this for a good while. So we have 717 pounds of salted meat, 35 pound sacks of dried fruit, 55 5-pound sacks of dried vegetables, and 169 pounds of fresh vegetables. So that should keep us going for a little while. Not as long as you'd think, but it should keep us going for a little while. I am going to rest here to top off our morale, even though we're relatively far behind at the moment as far as where we should be. But that's fine. We can make up for it. That's why we leave in March. I am going to do some fishing here. This is a good fishing spot. You will see, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know this now. Right here, pretty much our last stop on the whole trip. Actually, I think it's right here. I am going to do a ton of fishing and a ton of gathering. And the reason for that is you get bonuses for how much supplies you bring to Oregon City with you. So we load up on supplies by doing a ton of fishing and a ton of gathering all in one place, and then we haul our overweight butts into Oregon City for the bonus points. Hopefully, if we can get to 3,500 pounds, we might be able to eke by to 38,000 points. So we'll see. It's technically unlimited because you can trade for dollars, but they're very stingy. And see, just for $5, they want 453 pounds of salted meat. So your point potential is potentially unlimited. It's up to the amount of patience you have trading for $5 at a time, because again, $2.5 is equal to 1 point. So for 453 pounds of salted meat, you're trading it for 2 whole points. So I won't be doing that today. I'm just going to be fishing and gathering for those extra points. But yeah, we haven't done any fishing yet. The blue ones are either salmon, and there's 4 of these in each of these good fishing spots, which this is the first one, and they could be anywhere from 20 to 60 pounds. So they're always the blue ones. Blue ones are either trout or salmon. Gray ones are always catfish, and brown ones are always trout. The catfish aren't bad. They're usually about 10 pounds. The salmon are hit or miss, but you do get those 4 good ones in every good fishing spot. So those are going to be what I'm fishing for here, and then we'll move on. Alright, so we caught 239 pounds of fish. So we're already getting a little bit overweight, so I'm going to hold off on any hunting or fishing for a while. I don't want any accidents. Oregon Trail heading west. Continue. We're not going to stop for mosquitoes. That would make the situation worse. We need to hurry up. I don't know why we're going. I know it's a rough trail, but let's rest here. I cannot wait for 4th of July to get that morale boost. Oh Lord. Unable to clear the path. Unable to find another path. Unable to continue. Oh, fingers crossed we get an immigrant in a couple days. But, yep, okay, that's awesome. That's ideal, really. And we still got our July 4th boost, as long as nothing terrible happens. Seems like something always happens on the 3rd to make us miss it. I don't know why anyone would take the south alternate route. It's sandy, it's deserty, it's slow. Fort Boise, you stop at a fort. And of course, please hope no one drowned. Okay, no one drowned. That's all. That's good. But we do have cholera. This has been a great game. This has been a great game. Oh, my Lord Almighty. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. I have done this run 3 times now. Recording. I've done this 3 times now. The first one, I had a issue with the resolution, and I was actually having an issue with the sound on the first one. On the first one, I was using a screen recorder that could not separate the input from the audio from the game, so the music, and my mic. And I recorded the entire thing and went to watch the playback, and I was hoping I could somehow separate the two audio inputs, because I used to do a lot of video editing, and sometimes you were able to separate the two of them. And no, with that one you could not, and you could not hear my voice. It was basically background noise. By noise I mean distortion. You couldn't hear it over the music. The second time I did it, I had an issue with the resolution, where the new screen capture that I was using went into this, and this is like 600 by 480 or something like that resolution, and instead it was using my default computer monitor resolution, and so it was just a tiny little section up in the screen and then the rest of my screen. So in order to, I had to zoom in on that, but of course it was super blurry, so I had to scrap that one. And the last time I did it, it wasn't recording my voice the entire time. I apparently did not have the audio set up correctly on it. So this is actually the fourth time that I've recorded this, and in the other three I have not had nearly as bad luck as I have on this one, but I'm pretty sure technology-wise this one is going the best. So we're going to Farewell Bend, that's up north. So this run has both been lucky and unlucky for me. As usual. See, I like to be over here by the time we are where we are. Let's do some more gathering. And see how much salted meat we've gone through and how much fish. I'm gonna have to stop at the next lake and do some fishing, because we'll go through that quickly. Alright. So, let's get back to our people. Margaret Frank. She is actually the person in our group who came along the trail last. She came over in the 50s with her husband. They were heading from Independence over to California as part of the Gold Rush. So they actually did very well over there during the Gold Rush. On her journey of the Oregon Trail, she kept a diary. And her diary of her experience in the Oregon Trail and all the hardships they went through and where all they went and things like that. And years and years later, it was published as a book called Covered Wagon Women. And can you imagine if you kept a diary and then, 50 years after your death, your diary gets published and millions of people read it? I'd be a little bit horrified, but, But anyway, that is Margaret Frank. Pretty cool lady, and you could still pick up her book again. That's called Covered Wagon Women. Dang it. Okay, as usual, I hope that's a good fishing spot up there. Oh, I can't fish right. No, I can't fish right here. We're really gonna need something soon. Fort Walla Walla is just way up there, and that's where the Whitman mission is too. It's up there as well. Lost morale. We are so behind. At least this has been interesting, hopefully for you guys as viewers. It's been pretty awful for me, especially this being the fourth time that I've done this, and I mean, I've probably spent 4 hours in this gathering screen over the last 2 days while I've been re-recording this. This is something I've been meaning to. I've had the last 6 months off. I've been in school. took a break from work. I was working a high-stress, 60-hour-a-week job. It was a good job. You know, I made, well, I won't get into that, but, you know, it was satisfying. But it was also very high stress. And so I took 6 months off, and I went back to school, and I got some certificates. And this has been something I've been wanting to do pretty much that entire time. I got a job offer last week, and I start on Monday. It's now Saturday, and this will be my last chance to do this for a while. So I wanted to get this done before I went back and don't have the chance to publish something like this. I don't know how many views this will even get. It might get none. It's something that I thought would be satisfying for me, just to show everyone. I don't see any bluefish, which probably means this is not a good fishing spot. Oh, there's a bluefish. Salmon? Ooh, yes. Okay, alright, I'm gonna do this for a while. Alright, so we caught 220 pounds. It was an okay fishing spot. Okay, got my 4 large fish. We're going to the Delos.
Hello.
And we lost our morale again. I don't think we're going to get there on time, guys. We might have a little bit of a penalty, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And see, this all goes back to that one single day that I didn't have fruits and vegetables. That's, you know, it just kind of shows you it's a lot easier to keep it up by gathering as much as you can. I think I just got a little bit of fatigue of this game after playing it so much the last 2 days, and that's why I didn't keep up with it as well. But I'm still hoping to beat my scores on all 3 of those. I keep increasing the weight that I want to go into Oregon City with, so I can truly say it is my highest score run. Usually the penalty is only a few points, and we might be able to make up for that with bringing a lot of extra stuff with us. And we're going to take the toll road, $10, because we have so many oxen. And we lost morale again. But I'm going to keep going. This century, are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure it's just platinum. Okay, I think... Okay, so we're officially late. Alright, and this is our last stop. And this is where I am going to load up. I have 2,000 pounds of fishing and gathering to do. And it's okay that we're almost out of salt, because we're not going very far, and the fish should make it regardless, so it's fine. I'm going to do a lot of fishing, a lot of gathering. It's going to take me a while, but I'm going to get up to 3,500 pounds. And then we're going to rest a bit because we've got some people in fair condition, and that's no bueno for the score. So, I'll be back after a long time. Okay, so I am back. We now have 4,000 pounds on us. I'll be honest, I don't even know if we can carry this. We might have to throw some stuff out, but I do want to make up for the lost time. Something I learned while I was doing that is that I don't know if there's an internal clock that keeps ticking all while you're in a screen. I thought time only passed when you were moving or resting. Apparently that's not the case. I don't know exactly how many days passed. I know at least 2 did while I was doing all that that fishing and gathering. I had no idea, but it's now 2 days later. Our morale is high because I suppose it counts as resting. But I have not rested or anything, and 2 days have passed, but I was probably doing that for about 30 minutes just to get all that. I did trade for some salt because we have to rest some to get these 2 people up to good, and I didn't want our fish to go bad in the couple days that we're going to rest. I did decide to go with, I did decide to go with 4,000 pounds instead of 35, but there we go, we're all good. Instead of 3,500 because I do want to make up for the lost time. We're going to get not a huge penalty, but some penalty for showing up in September, and I just wanted to make up for that. I do want this to genuinely be my highest score run because, like I said, I've recorded this and finished it 3 times before. I've actually done it more like 4 times because my last game I had someone die like right here. So anyway, I just wanted to make this my highest score run ever, so I loaded up. Hopefully we can carry it. We've got everyone in good health, so I am going to pay the toll and continue and cross our fingers because we will be in Oregon City momentarily. I do, however, need to give you the backstory on our last 2 people. So John Fremont, he was actually a map maker, and he traveled all around the western United States. He came over in the early 1830s, and before he came over, there was a myth that the entire western United States was just desert, and there was no fertile grounds or anything like that. And he dispelled that myth and brought back reports of Oregon and California being very fertile lands. So he sparked a lot of interest in people going out west. Jedediah Smith, he was a frontiersman, and he was also he was a fur trapper, and he founded the South Pass, which is also in this game. We were on it earlier, and he was the first white person to cross the Mojave Desert and the first to enter Oregon as well. He had a lot of documentation of his journeys, where exactly he went, what type of land it was, what they had to eat, where the Native Americans are, and that documentation was critical to future trail guides being able to navigate the West safely and be able to get through the Oregon Trail to California and Oregon. So it's thanks to him that we have trail guides like Jim Bridger, our main character. So those are all our people. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't talk your ear off. Let's get to Oregon. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Stake a land claim. I think that's the highest amount of acreage I've ever gotten, so this should be the highest score. We've got 2,038 acres of land. See your final score. Fingers crossed, guys. Yes! I have never gotten to 38,000 before. I have never, ever gotten to 38,000. It was all that food and gathering right at the end that did it. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is so awesome. Alright, so we got 6 people in good health for 6,000 points. 6 whole dollars for 2 points. 1 wagon for 50 points. 59 draft animals for 590 points. Other supplies, that's all our fish and all our plants for 344 points. Unused skill points, 110. We only use 10 points for the musical skill. Year of travel, 1848 for 130 points. Independence to Oregon City for 814 points. We actually got no duration penalty. You know what? It might be September 15th that you get the duration penalty. I think it actually is. Huh. That's great. That's awesome. Wagon train status. We've got a high morale. 180 people with us. 2,595 points. So that's a ton. That's almost half of our total score of 7,635 times 5 because we're a teacher. And that equals the final score of 38,175. That is totally awesome. Awesome. Okay, if you could beat this, I would love to know how you got over 38. If anyone else wants to do this, like I said, your potential of score is unlimited because you can trade for dollars. But that is so much of a drag that I will not be doing that. But if you could beat 38,000, let me know. I hope someone sees this and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this recorded properly. But anyway, let's see what lies ahead. In 1848, Jim Bridger settled on 2,038 acres of land in an area that would later become part of the city of Portland, Oregon. Despite some hardships in the early years, Jim Bridger proved extremely prosperous, steadily acquiring more land and becoming a leader in the growing community. During and after the Civil War, Jim Bridger became active in raising money for the widows of soldiers and disabled veterans. For these and other civic activities, Jim Bridger was awarded a citation and commemorative plaque by the President of the United States. So sounds like our family did well. I just can't believe it. If you could beat this, let me know. I'd love to see it, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you later.